Okay. Today we have a mixer. Some model information. Type 745A food mixer. Made in the Republic of Ireland. Something you don't see every day. That is a slotted screw. Can't remember the last time I opened something with a slotted screw. All right. The complaint when this was dropped off was our old hand mixer gave up the ghost. I think we burned out the motor. Are you interested in rehabbing or regifting, or do you know of someone that might like the beaters? Thanks. We'll take a look and see what it does when we turn it on. Answer is nothing. Okay. Well, I have an idea of what it might be, but we'll take a look here first and see if we can open it up and get a better idea of what's going on here. Slotted screws. Half is the motor going to stay with? Okay. This is basic design. There's a motor that turns some gears that spin the beaters. And the gears look good. Before I get too far, it's kind of second nature to me, and I didn't mention it, but before I even plugged this in, I just naturally looked at this cord, and to be honest, the cord looks brand new. But what I was looking for was many times when something stops working, the cord's broken right there, because it either gets pushed up against a wall and bent, or gets pulled out by the cord, or something like that. It's very flexible, feels new, no evidence of damage whatsoever. So this really wasn't, while it may be old, it wasn't used a lot. Here's what I think is going on. There's two wires, electricity comes in and goes to this board that is the speed controller, and then coming off the speed controller there are three wires. Two black wires and a red wire, and the red wire travels across the top of the motor through this piece of tubing and then back down into the motor. And I think what we're going to find as we remove this piece of tubing is a fuse. But let's just, first thing let's do, let's see if electricity is traveling through that wire. So if I touch these together, it changes my meter to 0. If I touch it here, obviously those are connected, but it should also be connected back here where this red wire is, and it isn't. It tells me that it's open inside that little area and kind of confirms the diagnosis that this is a thermal fuse. So most appliances are equipped with these little thermal fuses, and it keeps the device from melting. That's kind of drastic, but it protects you against having issues. So that little device right there is a thermal fuse. And so what we're going to do is replace it. Very common, we see a lot of those in the repair world. So I'm going to leave some room here, and I'm going to leave some room here. And we're going to see what size this fuse is. So fuse is a 117C, so 117 degrees centigrade is when that fuse is rated to go off or not work anymore or go to open, so that it turns the device off. So those fuses do wear out. The other reason that they can go is just over time. You work your mixer harder and harder till you get that dough that's harder than you thought, and you work it longer than you thought, and your mixer heats up. And to protect you, it turns it off. So I'm going to check my handy dandy assortment of fuses here, because we see these a lot. And I have a choice between a 113 and a 121. That was a 117. 121 is well within 10%. So I'm going to go to bin E and get myself a 117 fuse. Or, sorry, a 121 fuse. This is just a tiny bit hotter than what was in there. Not so much as it would make a difference. And then I have a couple of handy dandy little crimp connections that will help connect the new fuse in line with where the old one was. And we use crimp connectors because these are heat activated fuses, and you really don't want to put a soldering iron on them or you'll blow them out. So you'll have to do that once for the light to come on if you to figure you don't want to do that. Now I'm cutting this down so that it's about the same size as the old one. I need enough room for my connector, but not much more than that. Make sure I don't mix them up. These are not directional. It doesn't matter which way I set it up. And I have this is a jeweler's tool that's used for crimping, and it also works really well on these little connectors. So I will attach one end to here. I will attach the other end to here. And then I will attempt to attach them in here. So, one here. And the other one goes on here. Give it a pull, it's not going to come off. This piece of insulation is helpful because the entire outside of this is energized. So when, in a normal condition, when the mixer is running, there's electricity running through all of this. And so it has to get close enough to this coil to sense the heat, but not short circuit. And that's where this insulating tube comes in. So I'm going to slide this back down over here and make sure that it covers. And then this was in a place here under, there we go, under this piece of plastic, which kind of holds it there and makes sure that it's against the coil and can sense the heat. Now we're going to start putting it back together. Back up here. So there's a little bumper down in there, and that bumper attaches right to here. Kind of isolate the vibration. This, and then there's a tab right here. And then finally, the ejectors. And these are, this goes in the case here and actually fits inside the holes. It's also the retainers for the ends of the beaters. So now we'll put it back together. Put the sides together. Make sure that looks like that works okay. This seems like it will work. And I'm not going to plug anything into these at the moment, so we don't have to. But I am going to plug it in and then see if that solved our problem. Every once in a while I take a break from some of the other things I work on to work on things that are easier to fix. And while you don't necessarily know that thermal fuses exist, it's one of the, if you know they're there, it's one of the easiest repairs you can make, and you happen to have a supply of thermal fuses on hand. So I am going to pack this back up. I have a message in to find out what we want to do with this, because it is not dead. It is a good, high quality, I would say high quality mixer, and although it's got some years on it, I think it's got some more years before it's ready to give up the ghost. It's probably better constructed than some of the newer things I've seen. They it was easy to open. It was easy to put back together. The fuse was easy to access. I'm going to call this one fixed Thanks for playing.
Hi. As I was wrapping this up, I realized I was so busy with the repair that I neglected to do a little bit of maintenance. While I had that open, I should have put a dab of grease on the gears. I will remedy that situation to just help eliminate another possible cause for the reason that it overheated, as well as ensure its continued successful operation in the future. Uh, Bye now.